Oh, be careful, little mouth, what you say. Oh, be careful, little mouth, what you say. For the Father up above is looking down in love. Oh, be careful, little mouth, what you say. This is one of the first children's songs I remember singing as a little child in Bible class at church. And I'll have to be honest, it frightened me a little bit, knowing that God was watching me and with me at all times, whether I was being good or naughty. And that's the first time I remember really thinking about God's omnipresence. Of course, I wasn't familiar with the term omnipresent, but I did know that God was with me at all times and saw everything that I did. God's omnipresence is the topic of chapter 7 that we are going to be looking at this week in our study. The word omni means all. God is omnipresent. He is all present. God is limitlessly present. And God made us to be limited in our presence. God created our bodies to be in one place at one time. And we have that limit. Acts 17:28 tells us that in him we live and move and have our being. God has decided that we will be present where we're present and nowhere else. But God is spirit, and he is able to be in every place at all times. He's fully present. He's present in the past, in the present, and the future. There's no escaping God. And theologians call this God's eminence. God is in and around all things, but he's also distinct from his creation. Theologians call this God's transcendence. God is with us at all times, whether we feel it at the time or not. Sometimes we feel God's closeness and his comforting presence, and sometimes we're tricked by Satan into believing that God is not with us and that he's not with us in our sorrow or our fear. But we know, and Scripture tells us, that God is with us at all times. And unlike God, no matter how advanced we become in our technology, whether it's FaceTime, Facebook, we can hear from others and see others in other places around the world, but we can only be face-to-face and present in one place. God created us that way. So God being with us and seeing everything should make us vigilant in what our mouths say, our little mouths, what we see, where we walk, where we go, because we know God sees it all. But we should also, at the same time, have a comfortable assurance and a peaceful assurance that God is with us at all times, no matter what. And sometimes our hearts do deceive us, but in the well-known verse, Psalm 23, it states, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." We are God's children, and we're never alone. We can never outrun God's presence or evade God's presence. He is with us, and that should be comforting to us. Only God is omnipresent, and let's all rejoice in that fact. Thank you.
As you look at this picture, it's not evident that this boy is brave. He does not appear to be strong enough to kill a lion or a bear with his bare hands. You do not know he's a crack shot with a slingshot. He is the youngest of 8 brothers, and thus is given the least desired duty, tending the family flock of sheep. It is hard work. He has piled heavy stone upon heavy stone to make a sheepfold that is 5 feet tall so predators can't get in. He leaves a narrow opening so the sheep must go in one at a time to be counted. The job is lonely, out in the fields while the sheep graze, or sitting in the narrow entrance to the sheepfold, keeping watch by night. He has time. He fashions a harp with an exquisite sound, fit for a king. His young, mellow voice, accompanied by the harp, sings to quiet the sheep and to bear his heart to God. Lord, you have searched me, and you know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You're familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely, O Lord. You hem me in behind and before. You've laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too lofty for me to attain. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you're there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place. When I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast the sum of them. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I awake, I am still with you. If only you would slay the wicked, O God. Away from me, you bloodthirsty men. They speak of you with evil intent. Your adversaries misuse your name. Do I not hate those who hate you, O Lord, and abhor those who rise up against you? I have nothing but hatred for them. I count them my enemies. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there's any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting.